Hello everybody and welcome to my third video. So today we're gonna finally do my first ranking. Sorry, just gonna try and shift the camera there. Today we're gonna rank all 9 Spider-Man films, and I'm gonna try and do it under 10 minutes. Now, 3 things to get straight. This is my personal opinion. You don't have to follow with it. It doesn't have to be your one you want it to be. You can rank him however you want. I just put this on my list because that's how I see the Spider-Man films. Yes. 2 spoilers. Be careful. Some of these films did come out a while ago, even though they did. I don't want to spoil it, so if you guys haven't seen Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Man 2.2.1, 3, 1, Miss Marvel 1, 2, Venom, and Spider-Verse, whatever, if you haven't seen any of those 9 films, make sure to go get off this video, go watch those 9 films, or some of the 9 films, and then come back here and watch this video. But if you've already watched them, or you just don't care about spoilers, okay, we'll just get into that. And number 3, rank them how you would like to, and plus, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie in the comment section below. Yeah, and sorry, just gonna clear something off. Let's get started. So at number 9 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I don't existentially hate it. It's just, it feels different from the previous film. It came out at an odd time in my life. I was getting shifted from one school to the next because the school I was at was I loved it at the time. For some reason, I loved that school. For some reason, I don't know why. I was there for 2 years and I was moving to a new school, so I never saw that much movies at the time. And Transformers 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2 films I wanted to see sequels of. Well, Transformers 4, yes. Amazing Spider-Man 2, not so much I wanted to see. So I got to see them. I got to see The Amazing Spider-Man 2 a year later in 2015 and 2016. And I was halfly interested, but at the time I was really interested in Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 rebooted a franchise I loved, so I got really haunted out by it. And besides the fact that it didn't learn from the films that came before it, it didn't learn from Sony didn't learn from the events of Spider-Man 3. It was way too overcrowded, and the villains, they were good, but the villain you had was the Rhino. So the Rhino was the side villain, was the third villain in my opinion. He was the first out of the 3 villains, and I didn't recognize him. I didn't even know his suit was the Rhino because I wasn't exactly that observant, and I thought Rhino was just a dude in a onesie with a big hole on the thing that has his face and a horn and Rhino eyes. So I wasn't really that observant. So yes, and then you had Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin. It was just odd, but plus we had already gotten a pretty good Green Goblin played by Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man 1, so we didn't essentially need another Green Goblin. And Electro, I'd say he's portrayed as more of a fanboy thing, taking something from Batman Forever. It's just sad because it was cool seeing him being a fanboy and all, but it was just sad because he just went all dark. It was kind of sad, but I just think that the film dealt with too many issues, script changes, many other things, and that this tone was brightened up, and Mark Waid didn't get to tell the story he wanted to tell. And a thing is that Peter Parker's parents weren't exactly covered that much. We never knew that much about them, so I was kind of sad when the plot got discontinued in the film. And the film ended on an odd note, so we never got to see that grand continuation of the franchise. So, yeah. And number 8 is Venom. Now, to try and slide through these next 2 films, I'm going to give a quick recap. The film is trying to find itself with what type of film it wants to be. Now, I don't have anything against script, everything. Essentially, it it goes here because it's a good film. I love it, but it switches. It's just, I guess I like Venom with Spider-Man. Venom is not really Venom without Spider-Man. I don't mind Venom. Venom is a pretty good film, but yeah, it's a really good film. It's a really good film. So Venom is good. Just it feels weird without Spider-Man in the film. So let's just move on to number 7, which is number 7, which is, so we'll try and land it. So at number 7 is Spider-Man 3. Now another thing this film has an issue with is that Sony interrupted it. It was a victim of Sony's interruptions. Sam Raimi did a fantastic first 2 films. All these 3 films have had an effect on the movie superhero genre as a whole. The first Spider-Man film, along with X-Men 1, 2, and some other films, Marvel films, including the Blade trilogy, or the Blade duology, launched the superhero boom, including Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 2 is regarded as the greatest superhero movie of all time. Well, some people think one of the greatest superhero movies. I just think the greatest superhero movie of all time. And Spider-Man 3 is regarded as one of the worst superhero movies of all time. Now, the reason why I put it at number 7 is because I pity the film, honestly. I pitied it. It's a really good film, but, sorry about that. I just think Sam Raimi didn't get the story he wanted to tell, in my opinion. Avi Arad said to make the film more interesting to bring Venom into it. No offense, my mother said that they should have kept Venom in. Yes, but at the same time, no, Venom. I don't think Venom needed to be in the film. He wasn't essentially needed. Sandman and Harry Osborn's Green Goblin were 2 good villains. So I didn't think it was a better idea that you just squish him in there as part of the film. So, also, too many villains. Venom... Too many villains. Venom, a symbiote who just falls out of the sky from and not telling the origin story, obviously linking it to another Marvel universe, and it doesn't really come in until halfway in the film, because when the film came out, I was born around then, so I could not see all 3 of these films. The first film came out a couple of years before, 4 or 3 years before I was born. The sequel film came out about 2 years before I was born, and the third film came out on the exact year I was born. Except in America, it came out a month after I was born in May. It came out on the month that my friends were born in May, but onto the point. We got the DVD. It was a 2-disc DVD at the time, because you could get 2-disc DVDs, which I miss about DVDs. You could get 2-disc DVDs, and it came with the first disc, but I had this DVD player that was really old-fashioned, and the DVD disc couldn't get played. So I had to play the Spider-Man 3 bonus disc for some reason. That one worked. And when I did, I played it and I watched all the trailers, the special effects, and I didn't actually understand the special effects of the films. I watched the special effects even though I didn't understand them essentially, but I was curious about what they are. So I watched it, but anywho, the film was just too overcrowded, and it led to the sad cancellation of Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man franchise, leading to Andrew Garfield's film. So number 6 is The Amazing Spider-Man. Now with The Amazing Spider-Man, I think the issue I had with this film is it came out not long after the Raimi films. Fans of the Raimi films, and even kids who grew up with the Raimi films, including me and some of my other friends and people around this world, got into the Tobey Spider-Man, and I was kind of sad when my Spider-Man that I loved got replaced by someone else. I don't mind Andrew Garfield. He was fine. It's just I missed my old Spider-Man. I love Tobey Maguire, but you had to get a reason. Sam Raimi wasn't interested in coming back because he was he was interested in coming back. He couldn't get the film he wanted to make due to his own failings. So he had to cancel the film and got rebooted. But it's grounded in reality and it's great. But the thing is that it retells the Uncle Ben origin again, and it was true, we didn't really essentially need it. It was just the origin story, but revamping it again. The death was hard-hitting, but not as hard-hitting since we already seen Uncle Ben get shot in the chest by a crook. The villain was really good, but overall, I just put it over here because it sadly took away the Spider-Man I loved. And we're now hitting 10, so let's hit at number 5. Number 5 is, I believe, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Please don't get angry at me. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a great film. I love the movie. It's just, it has great graphics. It has an amazing character arc. It's so sad that you get grown into this Peter Parker who we've just met, yet he dies, and you feel sad for it because, well, the blonde Peter Parker, the one who has blonde hair, not trying to be racist or whatever, the one with blonde hair, the Peter Parker in that universe dies, and even though you don't know him that much, you just feel sad that he died, and I think that's a thing with it. And Peter B. Parker had a sad story of his marriage and his life deteriorating slowly, and he feels like nothing, and he's on the ground, and Miles lifts him back up. And it gives a good origin story for Miles. It shows the other Spider-Man telling their origin stories, what it was like for them being their first roles as Spidey, as a Web Wonder, and it showed how they showed them the ropes. And I liked how it shifted more to Miles Morales and not Peter Parker, because Peter Parker got his origin story told twice, which is why it's funny. It's kind of funny when the two Peter Parkers say, let's go over this one last time, since their origin has been retold 2 different times. So, yeah. So, coming up at number 4 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, sorry, that was just a little bit of everything. So, at number 4 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I love Spider-Man Far From Home, but just Spider-Man Far From Home is a sequel to Spider-Man, but it just feels different because it comes after Avengers Endgame. They just dropped the plot that's in 2023. But, yeah. And also they jumped to the fact that Peter suddenly has a crush on MJ, but I don't mind it. But, it just feels, I don't mind it, but yeah. Overall, I love the MJ relationship. I love the villain. I love how the plot twisting in shows J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Spoilers, told ya. And how Quentin Beck might be alive, because villains can die and come back to life, so, yeah. And, overall, just to flash through this thing so we don't get up to 13 minutes on this video, we'll flash to the next film. At number 3 is Spider-Man 2. To be specific, Spider-Man 2 or 2.1, depending on what you want to call it. So, what I mean by 2.1 is that a DVD of the film was released with a couple of extra scenes added in, with the thus far 2.1 put into it. But, not to move on any forward, let's keep going back. Spider-Man 2, I watched it at a unique time. I didn't really get why it earned the rank of Dr. Octopus being a great villain. He was a good villain, I love scenes like the train scene, him starting to lose his powers. Those scenes were cool. The Peter Parker, the train fights, him stealing the suit. The swinging scenes are phenomenal. The MJ, how Peter has to deal with the fact that he's gonna lose his powers, how he's dealing with the effects of Mary Jane being with another man, and how he was affected with trying to balance life with being Spider-Man, which I think was a cool thing. So, I like that plot and idea. So, yeah, but it came out at another time in my life, and I just put it at number 3. So, number 2 is Spider-Man Homecoming, the third chance of Spider-Man being back on our big screens once more after the Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombed so bad that Sony knew that they were going to mostly be screwed and wanting to go into the MCU with Disney wanting Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man got invited into the MCU with Captain America Civil War. Now, unlike others when the trailer premiered at the time, I wasn't that overly excited. I wasn't interested in Spider-Man at the time in 2016 Civil War release date. I got a bit more interested by that time, but I wasn't into Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield, no offense, I wasn't into Spider-Man. Not because of Andrew Garfield, just I wasn't into Spider-Man, so, yeah. But just to rush this on so that I don't hit 0%, we're just going to move on to number 1. So, Homecoming's a good film. I like the story, retelling it. New twist of the wheel. Number 2. number one is Spider-Man 1. Now, this film launched my interest in the superhero films. I love it. It's a fantastic movie. It tells his origin story perfectly. It tells us the desire why he became Spider-Man. And I love the final battles, the actors, Willem Dafoe, Tobey Maguire. That scene when he climbs the wall is my favorite, so I love it for all that faults. So it goes at number one. So tell me what your favorite movie is in the comments below, and make sure to click a like and subscribe. And tell me what your favorite Spider-Man movie is. Rank all 9 of them from worst to best. And I'll see you soon, because my phone's at 10%. So click a like, subscribe. Tell me your favorite Spider-Man movie. Rank all 8 in the comments below. See ya. Bye.